Welcome to the channel, and in this video, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite movies from 1994, The Crow. Plus, it's timely with it celebrating its 30th anniversary, and the remake comes out this weekend, which I'm morbidly curious about. So for its 30th anniversary, Paramount put this out on 4K, and I bought this Walmart exclusive steelbook a few months back, and I preferred this steelbook over the standard steelbook. One of the reasons being the color palette. I like that the Walmart edition's front cover was black and white, just like the comic, and the regular steelbook had this blue tint to it, which isn't authentic to the movie or the comic. The movie might not be in black and white, even though Alex Proyas, the director, wanted to shoot this movie in black and white, but that was turned down. But the movie did a really good job muting its colors, so it stayed somewhat true to the comic. The only moments where they really boost some color is in those flashback scenes. I do like that it comes with a slipcover and it reveals a greater image. The one drawback is that the slipcover doesn't fit snug on the steelbook, so it's likely the steelbook will just slip right out. I'm not a collector who's really worried if the movie gets dinged up though. Paramount was nice enough to add about 40 minutes of new special features. I wish there was a featurette on the making of the soundtrack. The soundtrack is always talked about when you hear anyone talk about this movie. The song Burn, which was written for the movie by The Cure, is one of my favorite songs of theirs. I also want to shout out Nine Inch Nails' cover of Joy Division's Dead Souls, another great song that gets featured in the movie. This steelbook sold out pretty quick, and the other steelbook is also sold out. I do like the artwork for the standard 4K release. It's definitely worth upgrading if you haven't yet, or worth buying if you don't own the movie. The first edition of this movie that I owned was this UMD. I bought it at GameStop back in the day, and it was when UMDs were starting to become like super cheap because the PSP was nearing the end of its life cycle. This was how I first watched this movie. Movie rental stores were already on their way out, and streaming wasn't much of a thing quite yet. So I would just blind buy movies back then, and this movie clearly didn't disappoint me. This UMD also came with a few special features, which includes interviews with Brandon Lee and James O'Barr, who created the comic this movie is based on. It's definitely a movie that I typically bring with me on trips. This is probably in my top 10 movies of all time. I mean, a lot of it may have to do with the age I was and where I was at the time of my life when I first watched it, but I guess you could say I was just entering my goth phase, which I am still yet to shed. So thank you for watching. I'll be doing more videos like this where I'll talk about a particular movie in my collection, and figured what better way than to start off this series with a favorite of mine. I'll see you in the next video, and as always, have a movie time.
Suddenly, I heard a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door.